Welcome guys. Today I'm going to teach you about the 2 physical reasons that your back is hurting and the 2 technical reasons in your golf swing that your back is hurting. First, a little about me. My name's Chris Finn. I'm a physical therapist, a strength and conditioning specialist, TPI certified medical professional, and I spend 365 days a year. Every hour of my day is spent working with golfers. So I see everything and anything that you can think of in relation to back pain in golf or any other injury. So with that in mind, what I want you to do is get out a piece of paper, make notes, whatever you need to do, because these are the 2 reasons technically and the 2 reasons physically that your back is hurting, and this is going to change your life. So first, what we're going to do today is come over to look at the swing. So as you see, as I come down through impact, my hips are coming forward, away from where they started, towards the shaft and towards the ball. As this happens, basically I lose posture, and I'm going to have to compensate with my hands to make contact with the ball. This move is called early extension, and it is one of the most common swing faults that we see. The reason that this can cause back pain is because you're coming up out of posture, you're losing your ability to maintain stabilization through the spine and rotate through the golf ball in an effective and efficient manner, and because of the neck swing fault that oftentimes goes with it. So on that note, the second fault that oftentimes occurs with this is called hanging back. That's basically where you do not get your weight to your lead side. So in a right-handed player, you don't get your weight to the left side. In a left-handed player, you're not shifting your weight to the right side. Oftentimes, this is associated with an inability to rotate into your lead hip. And so what ends up happening is, as you see in the video, where I'm hanging back, basically you create an increased side bend to your trail side. And that, when combined with early extension, there is an exorbitant amount, a ton of shear force, pressure, just a lot of different forces and different vectors that you don't want on your spine are all colliding in one spot. So generally, if you have back pain as a right-handed player, it will start on the right side. If you're a left-handed player, it'll start on the left side. It can come across the entire back, but that's generally the 2 areas that we see. All right guys, so this is probably what you're most unfamiliar with. Everybody has seen those 2 swing faults. What you're really unfamiliar with is what are the 2 physical causes that I talked about in the beginning that could really cause my back pain. The first is going to be a lack of internal rotation of your hip. So particularly in your lead hip, so for a right-handed player, that's going to be on my left hip. So as I come through the golf ball, my ability to rotate through onto that left side. If that is restricted, I'm not going to be able to clear my hip. I'm going to be forced into what you saw with the hang back or that increased side bend in order to get through the golf ball. That's the #1 related physical limitation that we see in research and that I see every day in clinic related to back pain. So if you are not able to get all the way through onto your left side without your foot spinning out, that's probably something that we need to look at from a screening perspective. The second reason that we see people get back pain physically is because of really tight hip flexors. So when they get into golf posture, you aren't able to maintain proper posture, and you actually will be arching your low back. So when that happens, now you're putting your back at a very anatomically disadvantageous position. It's basically setting you up for failure. So when you combine those 2 physical limitations with the 2 swing faults that we saw earlier, it's a recipe for absolute disaster. Okay, so now that we're on the ground, what I want you to do is take this softball. This is probably the best $5 investment you're ever going to make. Grab a softball. It could also be a lacrosse ball, a baseball. Sometimes you can use a tennis ball that oftentimes is too soft. But what you're going to do is you're going to place the softball underneath your hip as you're sitting on it. You're going to cross the leg that you're on so if you're on the ball's on your right side like it is with me, I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left knee, and I'm going to roll around until I find a sore spot. Now if this is crazy painful, you can also use a foam roller that's a little bit broader. And if you can't get your ankle onto your knee, you can just let your leg down like I'm doing in the video, showing you basically an alternative way to open up that hip capsule. But if you can get the ankle up on the knee, it's the best way to open up the hip. And what you're going to do is what we call search and destroy. You're going to search for the sore spot. You're going to sit on it and just kind of pin down or tack down that sore spot. and then you're going to move your leg down and back, so your knees kind of moving away from your chest and then coming back towards your chest, trying to basically what we call tack and strip the tissue, try to free up a little bit of motion there. As you're rolling, if you feel like it's a really, really tender spot and you can almost feel it twitching, then you may be on a trigger point, in which case you can stay there, let it release. Generally this can take anywhere from 10 seconds to 30 seconds. But the most effective way typically is going to be the tack and strip method. Try this on both sides and make sure you definitely get up towards your belt buckle. The more painful it is, generally the worse or the more central to the actual point of injury. And if you can get more to the side and higher up than you would actually think, that's usually where the really problematic part is hiding. So most back pain we see, this is the big shocker that I get response-wise from people when I'm working with them. It's not actually a back problem. I hope your mind was blown, because mine was. The first time I saw this, I was just absolutely blown away that none of these people had back problems. It was actually their hips that were hurting. It was their hips that were causing this problem. It was their golf swing that was causing this problem. It was anything but their back that was causing this problem. So I really hope that this helps you guys out. Take that softball, go to town, loosen up those hips. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel. Actually, I see an average of 5-10 mile an hour swing speed increases when people increase the range in their hips. It's just the benefits just keep going. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found this beneficial. And as we say at Par for Success, go out, enjoy playing, swing faster, move better, and hurt less.